Right, good evening everybody. My name's Lynn McDonald and I'm going to be taking you through moving product with the catalogues, how to build a strong customer base with the catalogues. Clunies is over 90-year-old and it was built through the wonderful, amazing power of the catalogues door to door. I know a lot of people are going online and I'm not going to stop you, but we get lots of free catalogues for Clunies in that first 30 days. And it is worthwhile pointing out that 90% of my team, which turn over £2 million every 4 weeks, 90% of these sales will be coming from building a customer base with catalogues. So that's what I'm going to be covering tonight. Before I get started, there's many people watching this for the first time. They've just got started with the business. I'm just going to go through 2 or 3 little slides just to advise you how to create success in the business. And the most important part is to communicate regularly with your upline. Now, that's the person who introduced you to the business. It's an established fact that new people who regularly contact their sponsor and successful upline are far more successful than those who don't. And nowadays, there's no excuses. We've got Skype, the phone, Facebook, email, text, WhatsApp, Messenger. There's loads of different ways, but as you can see there, especially in the early stages with the catalogue building, I would say with building a customer base with the catalogues, even more important to keep in contact with your sponsor, or if you are a new team builder, with your new team members on a consistent, regular basis. So this is the most important step to a successful Clunies business. That's why you're going to see this at the beginning of most of the trainings. Your willingness to learn will determine your level of success. Now, your job is simple. It's to learn the simple system. And our job is to teach you the simple system. Now, here's the different ways that you'll learn the system. Number 1 is by speaking to your sponsor daily. You learn by that daily communication. There's many Facebook groups. We've got the Rhino group, and your sponsor, the person that introduced you, will have their groups where we share tips, advice, training. There's also Clunies has a success group. So review the Facebook teams and the groups daily. Have a good look and just get some tips from it. By attending these webinars, and others like it, by attending the monthly System for Success trainings or others out with the Scottish area. There's the Millionaires trainings, Birmingham. There's lots of trainings. You'll find them on the EWB. In fact, you could probably just ask Harry. But basically, it's plugging into that meeting system is what's going to take you forward. Studying the system and by taking action. Because at the end of the day, it is the action that is going to teach you the system. So today, as I said, or this evening, we're going to be covering building a strong customer base with the catalogues. Now, it's really important that you decide what you want to achieve. Is it money? How much? How quickly do you need that amount? Is it time? You might be wanting to reduce hours with some other job or business and get some more time. You need to decide how much time you want to commit to the business. It may be that you want to build a business income to replace your full-time job, whether it's now or in the future. But you really do need to decide what it is you want to earn. There's a bit of repetition there, but that is deliberate. I knew it was repetition this time, because once you decide how much you want to earn and decide how much time you want to spend doing it, and decide if you want to build a business or just a bit extra cash, this allows us to show you what you need to do to get the income you want. So really, really important that you have a good think about what you're looking for from the business, and let the person who introduced you to the business know exactly what it is that you're looking for, because we will go by what you're looking for. This is not our business, this is your business. But here's the retail income projection, and that just gives you an idea. If you put 200 books out a week, for example, and collected in all 200 of them, you're more likely to collect about 190, which would give you 190 in orders, but we've just done a straight 200 books collected would give you 200 in sales. So really, that should say catalogues collected. We work on £1 a book. So you can see down here, 216 for 200 books. In the early stages, I would probably recommend that if you're buying the 250 catalogues, that you get as many of them out, 150, 200, 250 if you're brave, twice a week. Get as many books out and get yourself a good income and a good income story and some good customers in your first few weeks in the business. Okay, preparation. First of all, we're going to send you everything that you need for your catalogue retailing templates. So you want to open a document in your open a Cleaneasy folder in your documents. And you want 2 subfolders, one for retailing and one for sponsoring. And that's the name that we give team building, because we are responsible for looking after people. So we sponsor. The person who introduced you will send you all you need for retailing templates, and you just save a copy of them in your documents. They're in Microsoft Word, and just insert your own personal details. If you don't have Microsoft Word, either your sponsor may kindly do it for you, or you can actually do this free of charge at the local library and get a map of your area. Now, personally, I like to go and get a little map. The ones that you get at the garages used to be free in this area. It might cost you a couple of pounds, but I'm just visual and I like paper. But you can go to streetmap.com or many other places, Google Maps, and get the street maps. But you want the house numbers, which you can get for Royal Mail as well. Here's the templates that we send you. The weekly planner, the callback slips, that's a little slip that tells the customer what day you're returning for your book. Sorry I missed you slips, although you can buy a book of 50 for like 35p, I think it is, from Cleaneasy, but I like to print them off because I can get big batches of them. Thank you for your order. Sorry I missed you again, and track your retail. That's the templates that your sponsor will send you, so you need to change all them. And here's a copy of the weekly planner, because it's really important to use this weekly planner, especially if you've got a busy life, and especially if you don't have a busy life, because sometimes when we don't have a busy life, we don't get around to doing things. So it's really important to put it on a planner. Now at the top there you can see number 1, your own commitments. So you want to enter your own commitments. So that might be job, might be taking the children swimming, to horse riding, to the BBs, Girls Brigade, whatever. But absolutely everything that you do on a weekly basis, because you're going to build your Cleaneasy business around this. Now, if you're serious about earning a decent income from Cleaneasy on a part-time basis, then we recommend that you plug into the meetings and the trainings, these online trainings, the Saturday trainings that are available throughout the country, and also the trainings that you can get on YouTube and other places. So the meetings and the trainings come before your retail plan. So you shouldn't be retailing on Facebook just now. You should be plugging into this meeting if you want to build a huge organisation, or even if you want to earn a couple £1,000 a month. £1,000 a month, you need to plug into these meetings. So then your retail plan goes on there. Don't forget to put your online retail plan on there. And then activity plan, which is how you get people into your business. And a lot of people are doing that, as you know, through Facebook. So there you go, enter your own commitments. Now, once you've decided what you want to earn, your sponsor will help you with this retail plan. So it's important that you send a copy of this by email to your sponsor. They may do it by using TeamViewer or simply just filling out a planner face-to-face. But it's important that you share it with your sponsor. The amount of time you commit to your cleaning the business, or that you need to commit to it, will really depend on what you want to achieve from it. But what I will say is 90% of people do Clean Easy, even the catalogues, on a part-time basis. So it's very achievable on a part-time basis. It's just consistency. It's being consistent with everything. So instead of just doing a weekly planner, plan for the next few weeks. What is it you want to achieve in the next few weeks? It's good to put a period target on it for achieving, say for example, all your 30-day challenge, as many free catalogues, or your first bonus level, or turn over £1,000. It is good to have targets on it. So you work in shifts, do you want to work weekends? Just put everything down for these next 2 to 3 weeks. And as I said, remember to speak to the person who introduced you, called your sponsor, who will help you to just guide you to fill that planner based on what you want. And that's the 30-day challenge. It's really important to us that you make money in the early stages, but you are going to lose catalogues while you're building a customer base. So Clean Easy have a fantastic incentive where you can get free catalogues, 50 free catalogues, which includes specialogues, bags, order forms, every time you process an order of £150. And you can choose the K-Life or the Clean Easy. Now, there's no limit on this. In fact, when you get to 600 within the 30 days, you'll get another retail pack. And the dates for these challenges will actually be in your welcome email. That's the first email that Clean Easy sent you when you got registered. So we do advise that you prepare the catalogues the day before you're going to deliver them, unless you're full-time in the business and you can prepare them in the morning and get them out in the afternoon. But generally, procrastination can be quite a problem. Put it off. So get them done the night before, and then you're out there with them the next day. And know where you're going with the catalogues. Don't change your mind. And as I say, use that street map or get a map of your areas. Now, we recommend that you make every single pack the same when you're preparing your books. Name and address label on the rear of the main book and your order forms. Your callback slips. Specialogue to one side, to the back, and the main book to the front. Your callback slip at the front, and your order form on the specialogue. And your order form clearly visible. But the reason we want all your catalogues to be exactly the same is so that you can, when you're collecting them, you will know if the customer has looked at that catalogue or not. Simply at a glance, believe it or not. So, plan your route. Right? You want to break your map into 5 areas. We recommend that you start close to home and you don't jump from street to street. Oh, there's a catalogue on the door. I'll go to this street. Don't move about. Whether you see another catalogue, a Betterware, Avon, or even a Clean Easy catalogue, stick to your route. Trust me, this is what is proven to work. Just plan that route and stick to it. A lot of customers test you out in the first early stages to make sure you're going to come back. And some people, you might see a Clean Easy catalogue, but they could be going to customers only, and the other 80 houses in the street don't have a book. So just start where your home is, walk out the door, turn right. Ignore any other catalogue distributors or company. The main thing is to keep good records and decide if you're going to be posting the catalogues, which is what most people do, especially if you get started with 250, or you're going to place them. You can decide yourself, and I'm going to touch on both of them in a wee second. But first we'll go to the record keeper. You want a notebook, and Clunies, they do have record books, but I prefer an A5 one. And basically, I've got a wee visual aid coming up in a minute, but you just want the street name along the top, the numbers down the side, and the date the books were dropped. Make a note against each house number when you collect the catalogue. I actually just put a tick or a cross. Tick is the looked, cross they haven't looked. I think Jane puts opened and unopened, and some people put looked and no looked. It doesn't matter. It's your records as long as it makes good sense to you and you're consistent. Know how many catalogues you've delivered and know how many catalogues you've collected. It's really important to track your actual progress and track what so you need to know your numbers, what sales were achieved, and that will be on, where you would record that would be on Track Your Retail. This will also show you what your average order value is, and it's part of your story for team building. So there's a wee visual aid there. Customer name, oops, what have we done here? Street, should be a bit bigger. I'm not very good with graphics. Customer name and telephone number. There's spaces there that you can put wee notes, say anything, but this is where I keep the name and number. The street name, and I've had to make it a short street because my graphics weren't too great. First time you visit, 5th of January. She's looked at it, they've not looked at it, they've looked, they've ordered, not looked, blah, blah, blah. Now, I've got a full house here. This one, we didn't get it back. But that's after 3 times calling back. But basically, they've looked, they've not looked, you didn't get it back, they've looked, they've ordered, but no looked the next time. No looked, didn't get it back. They could be on holiday, but you're just keeping good records, and you're going to use these records to decide who you go back to with the books, because if they're not looking at your books, then there's no point in continuing to go. If they're looking at your books but not buying, then there's no point in continuing to go. And I'll go through that in a wee second. But there's just a visual aid there for Track Your Retail. So the day of the week, how many books out, how many books in. Don't forget to recognise callbacks, total sales, average per catalogue, weekly sales. And you know what? This is a really good thing for people to do, because with the catalogues door to door, it's just like the online. You have good days, you have bad days, you have good results, you have bad results. You lose a lot sometimes, you get a lot back sometimes. It's an up and down thing. But if you're tracking your retail, you can actually see, the good days and the bad days. Sorry, I was just disabling chat there. I see a wee bit of chat there. Going on, sorry about that. Posting or placing. What is posting? Just firing it through the letterbox. What is placing? Knocking on the door and just handing them the catalogue. If you're delivering the catalogues in a rural area, then it makes sense to knock on the door, because you don't want to make a huge trip or a round trip to rural areas if you don't get the catalogue back. But if you hand them the book and say you will be back, and maybe even take an email address or a phone number, say I'll give you a wee call before I come, for the rural areas. If you've only bought 50 books, or you've got your free books, your first free catalogues for Clunies, it's a good idea to place them, because one, you'll get a better order value, because the books are only going to people who want them, and so instead of getting £1 per book, we reckon that you'll get £2 a book. Well, not reckon, that's based on surveys that were done by Clunies. What to say? Just keep it simple. Hi, I'm just collecting the catalogue. I'll be back on Thursday, pick it up, and at this point I would start to walk away, and I just add, if you're not in, just pop on your doorstep and I'll collect it without disturbing you. But you need to ask yourself, how do you feel about putting catalogues out, knocking on doors? It takes a bit more confidence. So we recommend that you leave the catalogues for 2 days. This system has been in use for a long, long time now, and it works really, really well. A popular plan is to deliver on a Friday and collect them on a Monday, and then deliver on a Tuesday and collect them on a Thursday. So books out, books in, books out, books in, callbacks, callbacks, callbacks. And you'll have your online on there as well. So don't forget to put your online planner. A lot of people are doing both. Some people are doing simply online and they're going to use their 50 free books, which you can get quite a few of them to get additional sales from the catalogues. No matter what reason you're using them for, if it's the 50 or the 250, it's important to be consistent and put a decent amount out. And as I say, if in the early stages you're working with not a lot of books, just be brave, knock the door and post them. So don't think, and as people fall into this trap, that it's quicker at the time not to record the information when collecting your catalogues, especially if it's raining. It can be tempting. It's very time consuming for the future, and it also can mean that you end up going to people who you wouldn't be going to if you kept good records. Now, some of the catalogues will be on the doorstep for collection. This really depends on the area. Some areas are absolutely fantastic and some areas are dreadful. Some you'll get more than half and some you'll get a quarter. It really depends on the area. But you just put a wee knock on the door if it's not there, because if they're in, you want to get your book. And if they're not in, just put a wee sorry I missed you and I'll call back. Now, we recommend to call back as quickly as possible, preferably the next day, while it's in their memory. And we suggest you only make 3 attempts. So the first attempt is the day you go, when you said you were going. Sorry, I missed you. I'll call back Tuesday. You go back on the Tuesday. Sorry, I missed you. I'll call back Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, sorry, I missed you again. You can call in on this number if you want to order or to arrange to have your catalogue collected. From about 150 books delivered, you should get 2/3 of them back in, about 100. But that will depend on the time of day. If you're going in the afternoon, you might only get half of them. But the system with the 3 callbacks, by the time you get to the 3rd day, you've got the majority of them. And we find that we normally only lose about 5%. Again, this can vary from area to area. But you might lose more in the winter, get a few soggy catalogues. But generally, we're not looking at a high loss. But if you're putting them in and out, in and out, in and out, that can mount up. And this is why it's brilliant to use your free catalogues for Clunies, because your first month you're going to lose the most. And obviously, if you get an order, you want to put thank you for your order through thank you for any orders, telling them when you're going to deliver. Now, in the early stages, you might just want to put 7 to 10 days. You may want to put 5 to 10 days because we're doing online sales. We can get to that 150 a lot quicker, but we're just guessing in these early stages. But once you get consistent and you have a customer base, then you'll be able to tell the customer exactly when you're delivering. And most people who have a customer base will deliver on the same day every week, and their customers would probably have a heart attack if they didn't turn up at that time. And that's how you want it to be. So here's some extra wee tips. Always check the book to see if they're in order before you go away from the house, because sometimes customers don't put their details on it. They think you're picking it up at their address, so you know where you got it. No, we don't. If you don't see the order easily, just put a little star in your record book, or you can turn the callback slip round and put the address on it, so that when you get home, if you find an order, you know who it belongs to. So that's really, really important. The turn for the stragglers, the callbacks, whatever you call them, really, really quickly. People are less likely to forget. And as I said before, you may have to return 3 times, but that final sorry I missed you will ensure that if the customer has got an order, because sometimes they don't put the book out, but there is an order there, they're waiting for you to get them in. So they'll phone you with an order. If you've got difficulty getting a book, you might decide to, when you're delivering your products, to give it a wee knock or have a wee peek. They could have been on holiday. Or 5 weeks later, when you go 5 weeks later, you might just score them off, or you might knock on the door and say, I gave you a book last time, do you want one? That one's entirely up to you. Now, if you're putting them through letterboxes, this is the average. 1 in 10 will buy, with the average order being about £10, which is £1 in orders for each book collected. Record the number of catalogues delivered and collected on your Track Your Retail. Record the sales, and this will show you what the average order is. Now, I have said that before, but sometimes it's important to repeat to keep these records. So here's what will happen. This is how we build a customer base. The catalogues are posted or handed to different people for 5 weeks. 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, plan your route. And then we go back to week 1. Now, don't stretch this out. The worst month you're going to have, and it should still be a good month, with your catalogues for losing books and getting less order value, is that first 5 weeks, that first drop. Start to gain more momentum the second time because the customers are seeing your book, they're seeing you're consistent, etc. And you miss out the people who didn't give you the book back. But it's really important to just have a 5-week cycle and then go back to week 1. Now, on the second visit, you're going to miss out the people who told you they didn't want a book, already received a book for another distributor, or you lost it. This is the start of your customer base. On the third visit, that's week 11, 5, 10, week 11, you'll miss out all of the above, plus the people that have not looked at the book. Now, some people like to give them a bit longer. I personally give them 2 hits because I will be blanket dropping that area at another time to keep my customer base alive. I will continue to do small blanket drops, so I'll catch them later on. So on that third visit, I miss out everybody. Now, what happens here is just instead of going to 200 houses, you'll be going to 100, but you'll get exactly the same order value. Round about £2 a book, £1.50 to £2 a book for that type of customer base. But finally, once you've visited everybody 3 times over 15 weeks, you're starting to cut out the people who don't look, don't buy. So basically, you're only going to customers. So instead of visiting 100 houses and collecting 100 in orders or 150, we expect you to get between £250 and £300. It works out £250 to £3 a book for a brand new customer basis. Now, the houses will be further apart, and what you'll find is you'll be able to fit that 5 weeks retail into maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So it'll be condensed down. So you have a free week 4 and a free week 5. So what you want to do is just start another cycle, a blanket dropping in a new area close to where you're working, and then just continue in the same format, 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks customers. And you can grow this as large as you want. Believe it or not, there's some people retailing £10,000 every 4 weeks. It's not what I would choose to do. I would much rather show 10 people how to retail £1,000. But it's your choice. You can grow that as large as you want. And I've got many people in my team turning over 3,000-4,000 personal retail in their 4-week periods. Here's some facts of the business. Work your planner and don't change it for minor things, only major things. You must be consistent and regular to build a good customer base. When collecting, you need to gather a towel. Sorry I missed you slip. Thank you for your order. And a smile. Now, the towel is for when it's raining to dry your catalogues, not you. We look after our books more than we look after us. We won't melt. And we won't get fat with the wet, which your books do. Now, it might seem like a lot to learn if you're watching this training for the first time, but it really is simple. And once you're consistent and regular, it becomes second nature. And this is how the average retailer will build a strong, solid, well-paying customer base. So, what makes retailing tick? Make a plan and stick to it. Regularity, maintain a frequency your customers will expect you. Reliability, be there without fail. Don't say, oh, it's okay, I'll get them tomorrow. No, it's not okay. You must get them when you said you were going to get them. You'd be amazed how much the customer, you were supposed to be here yesterday. Personalise it. Get your name in front of the customers at every available opportunity. And what isn't written down here, collect in details, email addresses at every opportunity. Refund or replace without question. Even if the customer got the goods from another distributor, we have a system where we can help the customer return these products to Clooney's. Letterbox or place, we went through it. If you can only afford a few catalogues or you're working with the free ones, then it's a good idea to place. But above all, build a customer base, and this means keeping good records for day one, getting to know your customers by name, and building a relationship with them, which is just really a little bit of a smile, a little bit of PR, remembering their name, their dogs, their cat. And here's a wee story. Just to finish the training, then Claire's story. Claire's the girl who I spoke about. Claire just brought 3 people into her team today, so these incomes definitely got to change. But Claire, with 3 children, started during the school holidays, and the first one, she took her youngest one, Tyler, 3, so it took her ages to put her first books out. She was doing online, but it took her a week or 2 to get her online. But combination of catalogues and online sales, Claire earned £406 in her first few weeks in the business and has sustained that income, but it's ready to explode because she's team building. Just quite quickly, to show you how your 2 incomes together with the catalogues and the online, what a massive difference. If you retail £1,000 every 4 weeks for your books, that's 210 retail profit, £60 volume profit, giving you a total income of 270. But if you're also doing 1,000 online, plug into that training or go to earnmoneyonfacebook.com. Retail profit 210, K-Life 150, volume 140, total profit 500. Now Claire was aiming for that and she got 406. Now that would be higher if you decide to sell Clean Easy products online, because they run at a 21% profit. And that's just, we always finish with this because we like you to know that just for team building and sponsoring, that is covered on the next trainings, but we want you to return to your list that you did for your catalogues that you're going to give your catalogue customers, and you just want to show them information. But we have got trainings on that, and that's just really just to plant the seed for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. All I'm going to do just now is pause